Live on the mics. Here we go.
And had a 10-minute conversation with my sister Kathy, who said she's been thinking about this very topic since August.
I have a great subculture too. The one I was trying to figure out last night what it was. I remembered.
You got it. Look at you.
And 5, 4, 3.
Welcome everyone, and pull up a seat at the table. It is lunchtime in Rome. Tonight's episode 320 is entitled So Many Cultures. We all have hobbies and pastimes, and each one has its own culture and even subcultures. Some are very surprising. Why is that? We'll be talking about that at the table this evening. So pull up a seat and join us. First-time listeners can subscribe on your favorite podcast app, or you can watch us live or later on YouTube at Lunchtime in Rome. Visit us at lunchtimeinrome.com. And while there, you can take our relational needs questionnaire. Make sure to follow us on all social media. And it'd be great if you gave us a 5-star review. Jay, what specifically is this podcast about?
At the table, we strive to love one another and help you to do the same. Some weeks we'll have someone join us so that you can get to know them and learn a little bit about yourself in the process. Other weeks, we dive into a topic. Romans 12:15 says to rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn. And that is what we do. So while it may not be 12:15 in Rome, we're treating it like it is lunchtime in Rome. Brian's back.
Brian's back, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
He is back from his walkabout.
Yeah, I'll be short and sweet. You know, Maggie's softball season.
You are short. Well,
Nope.
I don't.
He is sweet.
You're sweet.
He's
Let's
very
say
sweet.
that. Let's say that.
In the most masculine of ways.
Yes.
Not like, go ahead, Chris.
All right.
No, Maggie's softball season is officially kicked off, and we had our home opener. It was very fun. You guys were there, and
Warm
you guys
day.
saw it, and
great.
appreciate
I
you
won
guys
something.
being there. Won something. It was very fun, and
I had $2 potato chips.
good turnout for a crummy weather day.
Yeah.
But we made the most of it and had a blast, and yeah, it's exciting. But we are running hard, and it's all.
How many
happening.
days a week is it?
Given the
With softball, it feels like 18 when you are doing it.
this week she has 2 games, one last night and another one tomorrow, and then a practice on Saturday. So
Okay.
it's usually like 2 to 3 times of whatever. But her next game isn't until like I think next Thursday or something like that. So it's not like overwhelming yet.
But it's something.
But it is something. But I don't hate it. I
And-
actually enjoy it, and I like
and-
the group of people.
That's big.
Yeah.
And she's good at it, which makes it easier
Yeah.
for you, because if she wasn't good at it,
Ugh,
it would be like, what am I even doing here?
Yeah.
I love my daughter,
Yeah.
but what are we doing?
Well, and she would be really frustrated with herself, and then there'd be a whole attitude
Yeah.
problem and that dealing with that. And
Yeah.
no, but the parents are cool, the coaches are great, and that makes it so good.
I mean, I'm not trying to give you advice, but if there's anything that pays really well that involves good hand-eye coordination, you should point her in that direction. Baseball,
Yeah.
softball.
Well, and it's crazy.
Pickleball,
She has a gift of hitting. She doesn't have the power yet, but literally
She has that hand-eye coordination.
the first pitch to her of the season, she hit.
Yep.
Like she hit the ball. Not the first time up at bat. The first ball that came at her, she hit it. So she can make contact. Now we just got to get power behind it. So I'm gonna work with her on that a little bit.
Here's a question.
But it's fun.
Steroids?
HGH.
Rex from church recommended buying a tea. So I'll probably do that.
Maybe start there. Steroids is a little extreme.
Testosterone?
Well, man.
No, not going there.
But here's the question. Why is it hand-eye coordination? Why isn't it eye-hand coordination?
Because
your
that sounds
eye-
more like a sentence that you can't form, and it makes you sound dumb.
eye-hand coordination.
Yeah, so if
because
you say hand-eye.
see it, and then your hands follow it.
Sure.
It's not hand-eye. It's eye-hand.
I didn't make it up.
I don't know if it really matters.
I also...
Very good point.
They're coming in hot.
It just means that they're both coordinated together. I don't know.
But I think as a coach for more half my life, it is a very underrated component of athleticism, because I have had athletes who were strong, who were tall, who were fast, who jumped well, who were not only fast but quick, and they were terrible athletes. Like they had no idea what you had no idea what any part of their body was doing.
Yeah, is it
Right.
like you just have it thing or you don't? Like
Hand-eye coordination, you can improve. I think it's like anything else.
or athleticism in general. Is it a thing where, like you said, you look like a specimen, but you're not? Like you can't put it all together. I don't know.
No, it's a good topic because there was a girl who
Is it a subculture topic?
no,
No.
too soon. But
It's been a minute since I've been here. I'm out of practice.
but there was a girl who played for me who was unbelievable on the physical fitness team and a superstar swimmer, and she was a good volleyball player, but for the athlete she was. And I remember there's a legendary coach, Sharon Watson, 5'0", meanest lady in the world, 13 state titles at Norwin. And then she became like the gentle referee as time went on. And actually during the trade days was probably the number one person in the volleyball community that would like listen to me and check in with me and, you know.
Yeah.
But one day she was like, well, maybe she's just not good at volleyball. And I was like, Sharon, would you have accepted that? She's like, oh, I would not have. And I'm like, all right, then. Like, I can't figure it out. So I think like any other attribute, there's a range. Because I've had kids who are amazing hand-eye coordination. Nothing else.
Right.
So they were slow, fat, short. But boy, they could handle the ball.
Boy, I tell you.
Boy, I tell you.
I do believe like everybody's
I
gifted.
do believe.
I do believe everybody's gifted with something.
Nah, I've met a few.
There are some people that did not make that.
Do you mean that athletically or just at all?
No, just in general.
No, still
and I
not.
think
Still-
I think
I agree.
well, but I think those people have not found their gift. They don't have no idea what it is in their
Street smarts, they call it. I had a girl one time, and it was, you know, invariable. Well, another legendary coach who I just saw last week at an away match. I was the emergency fourth coach. She's the one that she had won a state title with Pine Richland. She was coaching at Shaler. And that was back when we would do a tunnel before the game. So you would high five your teammates and then go shake the other coach's hand who would stand at midcourt. She would always send the assistant coach. And she would just sit on the end of the bench. And when Corey McGowan played, her and Baker, they were the first two out of the tunnel. And I told them, you run right past that assistant coach and go down to the end of the bench and shake her hand. And I think it was because I was being a jerk, matching her jerkness.
Yes.
We kind of became cool.
Yeah.
She used to say, I was talking to her one day about an athlete, and she goes, let me guess, 5'4", fat? And I went, I mean, she could lose some weight, but yeah, 5'4". She goes, it's always the 5'4" short, fat girls. She goes, you never have any problems with the 6 foot tall girls. And I tell them, I can always find another 5'4" fat girl. And I was like, I'm not gonna, you state title in a woman. You can say that.
I am not allowed to say that
I'm
at
not
all.
saying that at all.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she got away with a few more things.
What was that, 1965?
Close. 2010. But alas, I am the same, busy, fine. I'm battling. You know, the line I keep using is, for as good of a shape as I'm in, I should feel much better. And not that I feel bad
Yeah.
at all. And you know, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on here, you know, getting off the omeprazole, and now my gut is 100%, and I'm hitting the gym, and
awesome.
my diet's what my diet always is, and it's great and everything else. Today, I'm walking into Eden Park to meet with Colleen and Johnette, and I was doing it again. I'm like, I'm a little tired, you know, for as much sleep as I get, and I looked in the window and just saw this person. I'm like, I'm doing better than they are. Like, God always gives me one person.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, maybe I am just 55, and that's what 55 feels like
Yeah.
Yeah.
to some degree. But
Have you ever thought about a follow up at your PCP?
oh, that's a good idea. I just looked in the schedule, and I have a 6-month follow up with my PCP in a couple of weeks, and I'm like, why? It took me 2 years to get my annual physical.
Yeah.
Why would I? And I'm like, I must have just been ready to leave.
Yeah.
And I'm
You're
like,
like,
sure,
"Okay, I'll
schedule
agree-
it,
I'll
agree to
schedule
anything.
it."
I'll agree
Because
to
like, we're
anything.
not following up on anything. I'm
Yeah.
fine. I'm the healthiest person they see. So yeah, we're gonna be canceling.
Well, Jay told me about that because
you
I
got me.
texted him yesterday at the doctor for
Yeah.
my 2 year. It's supposed to be 1 year, but 2 year
Yeah.
checkup.
You're on the every
physical.
other year annual physical.
I am on that plan. Yes, I
Yeah, that's
am.
what we do. ZocDoc.com, not sponsored.
And I tried. I actually
Did you?
looked
It
at
didn't
it,
work?
and it was crickets. I mean, everything that recommended was over in McKees Rocks, and it was one doctor's office. It was like 5 doctors in McKees Rocks, and I had my VPN off. I'm like, am I like in the wrong? Like, is it
Yeah.
seeing me in
ZocDoc
DC?
is an
Right,
app
right,
where you
right.
can find a doctor of your choosing and your liking and your network.
They are not a
and everything
sponsor,
else.
but I was really hoping that would
Sure.
work out. And
It was like Dr. What's the guy in Simpsons?
I can't remember.
Dr. Nick.
Hi, everybody. In McKees Rocks.
Yeah.
So,
But anyways, yeah. But my doctor is famous for not being on time, and he lived up to that yesterday because I got in there. They took me in right away, and it was this medical student who couldn't. I think she was mumble rapping the whole time. I couldn't understand her.
he was telling me this, and I kept trying to guess the nationality. And he's like,
No, she's from like
here.
South Side or
She
something.
just speaks poorly.
Yes, I had to ask her to repeat certain things several times, Blah, 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 blah. And so
Say you're in med school, huh?
you're in med school and you want to graduate.
Didn't go theater?
But anyways, they took me back right away. She got me through the vitals and everything, and then I sat there for 45 minutes at least, and it's like my appointment's for 11:30. Like you don't have. It's not like rush hour in Midtown
Yep.
Manhattan. You had one other person in that office. Why is it? And I didn't say all that to him because he's just a nice guy, and it's like. But anyways, but while I was there and I was texting Jay, he was like, I have a 6-month follow-up for some reason. And
Thanks for the warning. I'm going to cancel it.
Yeah.
And then you got me last night.
yeah.
He said that the doctor asked him, well, how's your pastor doing? And he said, oh, he's going to be in here in a couple weeks just to see you. But he didn't really say that.
Yeah. So
How's Brian, other than being frustrated with the American medical system?
as of this moment, I'm okay. I've been running really hard at a go live situation for the past couple months, and it's been really good for the most part. Today it's been tough because all the work, and you still get just people are so negative. They're so negative and want to complain about every little thing. And I'm not saying that, would I like everything to be working 100%? 100% I would.
You're not
For
absolving
sure.
yourself of critique,
No.
but let's not.
And it's also can't all fall to me though, too, because like something like this, yeah, you're changing a software or, software programs multiple to something better, which is great, but there's a learning curve. And so there's also like culture management and change management and people that
Culture.
yeah. And just people that have done things for a certain way and then they complain when they don't think it works, even though and my I get defensive because it's like, this is in here. We have dealt with a situation over the past year where things that you wanted are not capable of it. It's not capable of those things. Here we have those. You have to meet me halfway with this, right? You have to do the new processes and things.
And you're dealing with people that aren't inherently user friendly, or user expert people. They're not super data computer driven people.
No.
They're
No,
workers
they're
who are
old-
using a necessary.
Well, and the one guy's an old school guy. He does everything on paper, and he takes every chance to tell me, I'm old school. I do everything on paper. And I had to help him download, I sent him a file, and I had to do like a screen share with him so that I could show him through his email how to download it and then locate it on his computer. And then he's the one that's saying, well, this system doesn't work.
When it's like, sir,
And I wanted to
So your
the system-
computer's not on.
This system literally isn't on paper, so I don't know what to tell you.
yeah.
You send Marima paper and go, here, this is for you.
So,
Corporate wants you to find the differences between these two images.
this very evening, I had a lot of spite, and that's not a healthy place for me to be, it's subsiding. But yeah, I mean, I'm in one of these spots where tonight I wanted to be like, you know what, it's not worth it. I've put too much time into this, and
Yeah.
but I'm also month to month on a contract, and right now that's what I have, and
Yeah, but the longer you're there and the more you do, and you're trusted,
yeah, I mean,
sure,
as much as I can be.
where are they going to turn?
Well, that's the thing, and that's what I told Lex tonight is The owner's just miserable in general. He's miserable because he has me and he can't get rid of me, and he knows that. And he shouldn't get rid of me, but he knows he can't, and he hates that fact. Sometimes, most of the time, he's grateful for me. I believe that. But that goes for every other one of the people. Anybody. It's like, you know how we talk about, I can't find the right church. Well, maybe you're the problem.
Right.
You know, maybe a lot of the things that you keep complaining about are because of you. And sorry, I mean, that's sometimes you and he knows that at the deepest level. And so anyways, but overall I've been really good. Really purposeful work. I've learned a ton over this past couple months. Opened my pool over the weekend, last weekend.
Oh, you did open it.
I've been swimming. I mean, it's ready to go. Little cool.
Sure.
Haven't
And by that, according to me,
Slightly more than the cold
Yeah.
bath that he does in the morning.
Yeah. Well, it is my cold bath now. I don't have the heater on at this point yet. I did have the heater fired up, and I did fix the heater my own.
Yeah, that's incredible.
without dying.
Yeah, no
so
explosions this year.
So far.
Not yet.
So
Yeah.
far,
Yeah. There's still
far as a new
time,
day.
but
this isn't working. Oh yeah, show me not working.
but overall, I've been really good. It's just crazy where Ethan's about to come back home.
What's that going to be like?
It's going to be tight. The house is going to be a little bit small. And honestly, like, he's doing so well over there this semester, and so it's going to be good. But I think it's going to be unique in a way that it's never been. He has a whole different perspective. We have a whole different perspective. All that stuff. Pretty much the last time I was on the podcast, I think it was right around when he went to school. It wasn't that long, was it?
No.
Well, but it just seems like we were having those moments of, okay, see you later, goodbye, and everybody crying and losing it, and then you go through this year, and it's very different. He had so grateful to be on this journey with him. He had a peak moment a couple weeks ago. There's this big event at RMU called Airband, and
Oh yeah, Lex was telling me about that. It
Just-
sounded so fun.
unbelievably fun, really creative. But all the frats and sororities, it's their rush week, or not rush week. It's their culmination week, right? Greek week. And so all week they have like sporting events and all this stuff. But the Airband's the final event, and every one of the frats and sororities does like a 7-minute mashup video, and it's all lip syncing, and it's like been going on forever. And so it's this huge event. And his frat, so they broke out the 3 sororities and the 7 frats. Each of them, the sororities get their own award, and the frats get their own. Ethan's frat won the event, and he was just like, to watch this kid and all his friends was just a great moment as a parent. To be able to be there. You're not far away.
So fun.
45 minutes away is great. So things are really good. I don't want to come in here on a negative note about everything.
No.
Today it's just
You're allowed.
Today was one of those days where it's like, all right, it doesn't get to me often, but it was getting to me a little bit.
But then that even probably gets to you.
That it's getting to me?
Yeah.
Right. Because I've worked really hard on not letting things get to me and discipline. And so, I'm resetting.
Sure.
And tomorrow's a new day.
The one thing I didn't share in the update was that Joe had his first Army weekend
Oh yeah.
in the Guard, and it was great. Like, we spent some time. He left Thursday, so Wednesday night, just praying together, and and he's like, I've never really told you this. He goes, but I get this feeling before any Army weekend. This sort of unsure feeling, even though I was a senior and I was the one they looked up to. I still get it, but now especially with I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. I haven't been to training. I don't know any of these people. I don't know if they expect me to know everything. So all in all, it went basically seamless. But the thing that hit me was that there were 80 people there, and 80 Army people, soldiers, and 75 were enlisted, which means Joe is more senior. He's an officer,
Right.
than 75 of the 80 people. And I was like, how did you like it? He goes, I hated it.
Yeah.
He goes, I had a 35-year-old person call me sir.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, that's
That's
something. And then in classic Joe, he's the least qualified in that he hasn't been trained. He doesn't know what he's
Right.
doing, whatever else. But everybody there was pretty cool about it. And it all worked out well for now. Till it isn't. Then it'll be fine.
Yep.
I would argue that sitting at the head of the table has its own little subculture.
Yeah.
Not really. But if you want to sit at the head of the table, go to lunchtimerome.com, become a paid subscriber, click on the link, and just help us be a part of providing this podcast. And all the different benefits will be posted as well, or are always posted.
Yeah, and Big Guy's back.
Big Guy.
And I said, this is like the old days with the three of you. And that's correct, because Chris used to not be a regular
Chris was the pink
co-host.
Power Ranger or whatever. That was the extra Power Ranger.
Did we really do like 50 episodes?
Not 50.
No, I don't think it was that many. I don't think it was a whole year's worth.
25?
Maybe a couple months.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
But
But
you're
yeah,
right. You're correct.
Valid
That's a
point.
deep cut.
So Saturday, and by that I mean Sunday, I think it started with my sermon where I referenced a woman that I had met the day before who is big in local politics, and how she was just talking about, that I was mentioning when I hosted a Penn Hills Community Development Corporation meeting at our church, that looking at everybody filter in that it was like a high school cafeteria. And, the guy walks in with his satchel and all these people go over and flock to him. And I'm like, okay, he's somebody. Turns out he's the financial manager for the municipality. And then over here are these people. And then the opposite. And she goes, yeah, the thing is, they're in the same groups, whether it's a Democratic committee, whether it be the school board, whether it be city council, or whether it be the Penn Hills Partnership or the CDC. They just shuffle important chairs because some people are in charge of this, some people are in charge of that, but it's all the same people. And she goes, they don't even realize they're all in the same group. And, and I was like, wow. And so that was when it started with me thinking of the subculture, the culture of local politics.
I thought your best line, though, was you're one of those people.
Yeah, she didn't realize she is them. No, them is she, because she's a part of that as well. But I will give her credit, because I said to her, look, I guarantee you and I don't agree on a lot of things politically. And she goes, why should we? She said, how can we ever find a real solution if we all think alike? And I was like, you're cool, but I'm still not talking politics with you. I actually said to her, I said, you're part of the Democratic Party. I said, I don't have enough letters after my name, because it would be staunch, conservative, separatist, borderline, and anarchist, constitutional conservative. I said, I don't have a party. It doesn't even happen. So Rachel and I were driving in Monroeville, and I thought to myself, man, there are cultures that every sort of hobby or pastime or activity has. Because, I go to Planet Fitness now, started in December. There is a culture there. And I was talking about culture with my sister Kathy this morning, this idea. And I said, Planet Fitness has its own culture. I went and worked out today, and this guy, 35 years old, wearing tights with shorts, has a 4-pound weight in his right hand, nothing in his left hand, and he's prancing about the place like a deer. And every time he lands, he sort of shadow boxes. But he went over the entire gym in 15 seconds to a point where he was behind me. And I kind of did the slow turn, like, is he going to hit me in the back of the head with that? And I was like, Planet Fitness culture. But then I said, disc golf got its own culture.
For sure.
Ball golf, got its own culture.
Very much.
And we were driving past the Monroeville Mall, and there was a sign, and it said, Monroeville Convention Center, tropical fish live auction today.
There's tropical fish people out there.
And Rachel goes, tropical fish culture.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, somebody's out there going, you believe he got that yellow Zanzibar for $30? That's crazy.
He said a better word last night.
What was it? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but Joe I think he wants to coin it. And
Oh, wow. So that kind of spurred it. And so I put it on Facebook and said, hey, because there are also cultures that aren't what you think they are. So I have been told, and I have heard that the quilting culture is cutthroat, and that it is, you walk in line, you do not stray out of the groupthink, and if so, you are chastised and excommunicated. Oh, you would think a quilting culture.
yeah, like I stand by my statement last night.
But not everybody was with you last night. So general, it makes sense to you.
It makes sense to me,
Given the
demographic.
Sure. And so some of them don't make sense, and some are quite toxic, and even some have subcultures. So I thought we would talk about the cultures we're a part of, and either what sets them apart or what people may not know about them, and then read some of the ones that we have, and then kind of come to a conclusion and sort of see how does this apply to emotional needs, everything else. So, Brian, you had a big aha moment.
I was watching a documentary that I recommended to Eric.
Documentary subculture.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to watch
So it's about ska music.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, when I'm glad because I even mentioned to Lex, we watched it together on Saturday, and it was amazing to see how much of a subculture ska was before it got big. But even within ska, I didn't realize it's older than reggae. Reggae came from ska. And so they went this
How often, if sorry, may I?
Please.
How often do you think if you're in ska circles, do they remind you that they were before reggae?
A lot. A lot.
Actually,
Well, and ska, I mean, with ska, you've got the checkered black and white look. You've got
Kefkas.
a certain dance that you do. Well, they explain why it's black and white because they wanted it to be inclusive. Ska spans.
So I was actually almost close.
Yeah.
Not pro-Palestinian.
Yeah. No. But within ska, they were talking about originally they had the Rude Boys. The Rude Boys were guys that didn't like the way that certain ska was being played. And this is like going back into the 50s in Jamaica. They didn't like the way that ska was. So they would come into these clubs where the DJ was, playing records and stuff, and they would go and they would take the needle out of the record player, and they were called Rude Boys.
and you can hear him call out the Rude Boys in some songs.
Yeah, right. So that's where that came from. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I listen to Sublime, I listen to reggae all the time, and
Yeah.
you hear Rude Boy. And it's like, what is that? Well, it's explain it to me, but I just think it's interesting to see, like in this documentary, if you watch it,
I will
now
watch
after
it
this
for sure.
conversation,
Yeah,
you'll see like, wow, there's a subculture of a subculture
Yeah.
within ska. And then ska is in and of itself was kind of a weird thing in the 90s where you had grunge and you had, hair metal and stuff. And so
And they're always very sad, right? The ska people, because the ska is always blue.
that's
oh my gosh, well, might be the worst dad joke I've ever heard.
well, to the opposite of that, ska is supposed to make you very, very happy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun, upbeat.
Yeah.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that was my aha.
But imagine what happened in the culture when the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Yeah. No, they get all into that. Why did these guys hit it big and these guys didn't? They're better. And because their music's it's a two-tone, not a and it's like, wow, that's
It's all about who you know.
yep.
Yeah.
So
Dave Harvey is a friend of Mick Nardozzi's best friend. Mick Nardozzi is one of my good friends. Dave Harvey is just he's every man. There's nothing remarkable. I'm not speaking poorly of him, but
Right.
he's just Harvey,
Right.
And apparently at one of the Lollapaloozas at Star Lake, he drank so much that in the middle of the Boss Tones, he got up on stage and he did the little
Skanking
and then
dance.
and then just dove into the stands. And like the guys had been like, "Where's Harvey? Where's Harvey?" And they're just like, "Oh, that was Harvey."
That's funny.
So Eric, what are your and that's not your only one, but I mean, what comes to mind?
You kind of named a lot of them, but gaming culture for sure.
But I mean, gaming culture. But then how many?
There are so many. That's why I was like, I don't even know where to go with this because like you have different genres, genres of games. You've got, super nerd type of guy gamers. You have like the bros, streamers. Like there's all kinds of different subcultures in gaming. A lot of them I don't appreciate.
Sure.
I do not like.
Can you give an example of one you wouldn't,
So,
without offending anyone?
yeah, I mean, but a lot of
there's
gaming.
different taste, and then there's I disagree with.
Well, there's just like in streaming culture. Maybe it is like just streaming culture in general. A lot of people are like over the top and kind of annoying, and they're cracking jokes and whatnot that aren't really all that funny.
But because they have 2.5 million followers, everybody's like, ha ha ha, that's so funny.
I can't stand Ninja. Like he's such a doofus. Like there's other things I want to say right now, but like
Maybe not everybody understands who
sometimes
Ninja
he's
is.
such a crybaby, and like I just can't stand. He's
You
one of the
know
biggest.
Ninja?
I feel like I remember what is it?
He's definitely Ethan would have watched him, and he used to be one of the clean streamers, and he's not anymore. And I mean, he's older and more mature now, and whatever. But
So that's why he's not clean.
No, it's just that like one day he just decided not to. I think at one point, I think maybe he was young enough that like I think his parents had some say of like
Sure.
hey, maybe don't do this online while you're young. But no, it's just like it's just annoying, and maybe that's just like me being old. But like there's times where I'm like, can we just play a game?
Yeah.
Can we just play a game and have some fun here? Like I don't need this drama that you're creating and manifesting because they will create for clicks and views and whatnot,
And they'll go
do
after
the-
like other streamers.
and like I think it was either today or yesterday. Ninja quit the game Arc Raiders, which was one of my favorite games, and he quit because he was frustrated with cheating. But I think the other thing is like this game is not for you. Like you don't have to like poo-poo this game and create this drama. You can just say I don't like this game and I'm not going to play it anymore, and that be it. You don't have to make it a thing, So all this like, I don't even want to say showmanship, but it's like it's just this like and I don't like that portion of it. But yeah, I mean, gaming for sure. There's too many to name.
How much of vinyl culture is there?
I don't know yet because I'm not that deep into it. To
I was thinking of
know.
that for you.
Yeah, I like there is, from my perspective, whenever I've gone and looked through records at different places, everybody's cool. Everybody's like whatever.
Probably if you got into like selling.
If I got to, I am definitely going to sell some, but I'm pretty much primarily going to do it through the app that I have that I've bought other stuff through,
Right.
like buying and selling online with each other, like eBay kind of thing. What?
Nothing.
No.
I have a couple that I want to talk
Oh, I was gonna
about.
say it was the most like you looked like you were watching a tennis match, and I was like, is he getting ready to say something? You're like,
He's waiting for the moment.
jump in.
Yeah, so vinyl culture, huh? You haven't gotten into it.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I'm not a part of
You're
a
more into
club.
vinyl than the culture.
Right. I just like collecting and
Listening
to it, and it's not. I'm not in a vinyl club where we meet up and talk about vinyl.
Yet.
Nah, I'm not going to be that guy. And I said that about disc golf, but I'm for sure not going to be. I'm not going to be that guy with vinyl.
Yeah, but the guy we said we wouldn't be in disc golf, we're still not.
Yeah.
for sure.
That was more bro disc golf.
Yeah.
But I would certainly. But I would certainly entertain like a conversation with somebody about vinyl and
Sure.
talk about how I enjoy it and whatnot.
What were you chomping at the bit for?
Dart. Speaking of games, when I used to bartend, we did a dart tournament.
Darts is a culture,
And it
for
was
sure.
it was the best weekend. I looked forward to that weekend. So I worked there for 2
I
years.
love darts.
I looked forward to that, and I think we did 4 of those events. I looked forward to it every time.
And you're not being sarcastic about that.
No, I'm not. There's so many cultures now that I think about bartending. Oh my goodness.
Bartending culture.
Oh my goodness. Well, I was going to say restaurant culture. You watched
Yeah.
The Black Rabbit, right? Think about that.
Oh,
Think
yeah.
about that whole
the
culture.
chef?
Yeah.
Chef. Yeah.
No,
You
get at
freaking-
it, man. I want you to watch that movie.
The bear. These
Oh,
these
the
are
bear.
they have
Yeah.
their own cultures, but this dart tournament was so fantastic because you saw the most wide ranging group of people, and they drank so hard from the time we opened till Sunday afternoon. I mean, we had off for 4 hours a night, and they were there the rest of the time drinking and tipping and bringing up their dart sets and talking about dart tips.
I like
and-
how you said drinking and tipping. You
Yeah, tipping was in
appreciated
there.
a good tip.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I made
So
lots.
those
of money.
wallets are
But the
getting
dark
looser
people
and
are good
looser.
tippers.
They were very good tippers.
I wonder why that is.
They took care of us.
I think people that like are in like because I don't want to put darts in the culture of gambling, but like there is an element of like wagering and putting money on the
Do
line
pool
because
leagues tip well?
there's probably
You don't know.
side bets going on,
Sure.
and I feel like that culture that culture is good tipping culture.
Well, because they're in bars and stuff like that, But I think also too, because it was a Friday to late Sunday event. Hey, look, we're all hunkered down together now. I mean, I would sleep at the hotel, and so I mean, it got pretty nuts. Like you had people learning to like hooking up in that time, and so I think that really quick time of being together as a group. You were able to gain people's trust and they bonded with you. And so they opened their wallets a little bit more. And, you had people coming back to these events, time after time. So they kind of knew you already. So I think, building that rapport in that short little micro time of being there.
So that's even a subset. That's dart tournament subculture.
Yeah.
It's not just
Sure.
darts.
It's not just darts. It's darts
Right.
tournament.
Because you
Tournament.
have people that just like to play darts
Sure.
regularly and probably
Yeah.
in a league, but then there's a different level of tournament level and all that.
Yeah, you can
Like
close out
bowling.
a dart. Like if you're playing cricket, that's 301 cricket, I think, you can close out a dart board. You can close it out in 8 darts.
Yeah.
And these people, it was amazing to watch them play.
Sure.
I mean, I was pretty good at darts at the time.
I've
and
seen people do the perfect run and it's unbelievable.
It's amazing.
Unbelievable.
And yeah, just a great subculture.
Sure.
Similar to cornhole culture.
Are you being funny?
No.
Oh, right. Like that dude.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
With no arms and
Yeah.
no legs.
Bob, put him in the water.
No. Not Skip. Not Russell. Not Matt. No, like the guy, was he a champion or?
I know he was in tournaments and he was winning.
Yeah.
He had no arms or legs?
And
Yeah.
murdered his friend.
How did he do it?
Gun. He had like a.
No, how was
Oh,
he?
like he took
in
his
nubbins.
nubs and
Okay, so
flung
he,
it.
so he had.
He wasn't a perfect cylinder.
Okay, I would
Right.
think he had no
Right.
arms, no legs. You're saying no hands.
I don't even know if he had elbows.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, he apparently shot and killed his friend.
And lost his appendages?
No.
No,
Oh.
Like
just as a person.
Oh.
you don't know this story.
I don't think I know the
Clearly.
story.
Oh my gosh. It's
Yeah.
the
It was
wildest
like a month
thing.
ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
Eh,
really?
Now maybe
Yeah.
2 months ago.
Oh,
Yeah, right. But it's been recent. It's recent. It's not like years ago.
no clue.
No.
We'll show you after the pod.
So coming from the ball golf community, but working in a country club, like there are so many, well, maybe not so many, but subcultures within ball golf because there's the country club crowd,
Right.
and then there's the public course crowd
And the Happy
and
Gilmore
culture, I
crowd.
should say,
Right.
not crowd,
The
but
frat
culture,
boys that go out and just get hammered.
the drinking golf, the competitive golf,
Yeah. The bros.
the people that keep score, like the frat boys, the bros.
Yeah, the bros. Yeah.
But switching over to disc golf.
I didn't mean anything negative by that.
No, I know. It was just funny because you said the same thing a couple times in a row. That's why pros make fun of you. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Disc golf, such a different vibe.
Disc golf bros.
Disc golf. In that it's just, I always say like ball golf, booze, disc golf, weed. But isn't as much, I don't think, as I used to think it was.
As much weed.
Yeah. Like I don't smell it that
I don't
often.
smell it on the courses we've. I've maybe smelled it a couple times, but
Well, and also too, you think about the guys that are on the pro tour that we like. Most of them are, they seem to be pretty.
Right. Well, they're also pro athletes.
Sure.
That they did drug tests last year
Really?
For the, I think, Worlds in Europe. But
well, it's funny you say that because when Justin we got Justin Boothby into it, and one of the first things somebody said was like, "Oh, I didn't know you smoke weed."
right.
And so there is it is known for in that culture, but
But the reality of the culture is,
not really.
as compared to ball golf, super encouraging.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very laid back.
Yeah.
Very supportive. Like you don't go to a ball golf course and somebody's like, "Here, try this sleeve of balls."
Yeah.
But when you're new, everybody wants to give you a disc.
Yeah, you got to try this one. You got to try that,
they're
because you have leftover discs. that,
encouraging,
yeah.
playing through, and it's funny because I follow because I'm in the culture, and the algorithm's like, try this disc golf page, try this disc golf page. The number of as disc golf increases, people playing through but using playing 4 discs. So it's a person by themselves, but they throw 4 different discs, and the annoying are people not letting you play through. Things that turn me on to disc golf.
Yeah.
I guess as it's getting more popular, it's becoming a problem. But that's probably my biggest subculture. But even that, I'm not a part of the culture because I have my own disc golf course, for lack of a better term, that I maintain a lot of, so I can't play a lot of the other courses around here. And because I'm a pastor and I go to church on Sundays, I can't play in a lot of the tournaments because a lot of the tournaments.
Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so that's probably my biggest subculture, though Planet Fitness certainly is its own little subculture and different than I thought it would be. Much more not encouraging, much more open. Nobody's encouraging me. I got one guy one day who because even in Planet Fitness, there's a subculture of super workout dude, old person in street clothes on the little treadmill with the army thing, our arms thing, middle-aged guy trying to stay in shape, whatever else, but also the black-white subcomponent, because there are a subset of African-American people there that only talk and engage with African-American people. And I know this because I've made eye contact with all of them, and they're like, oh no, we don't give you eye contact. They don't say that.
Yeah.
But the one time I did get encouraged, I was like weeping to myself after a set, and the guy just looked at me and like gave me a head nod, and I was like, I'm included.
How far
Well, and
we've
that's
come.
kind of.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's like when we were talking about doing this episode. It is a lot about belonging.
It is.
Right.
Almost, you would think it's almost entirely about belonging.
But I'm sure there's some nuances there. That
There are nuances
There are
there.
very specific.
I have thought hard on this for 3 days, and sociologists have probably spent years on this.
Yeah.
But I have thoughts.
Yeah.
Any other subcultures you're a part of before we get into ones we certainly aren't a part of, but you've thought of?
Disc golf, vinyl, video games. I mean, I guess in some, yeah, tech is definitely a subculture for sure. It was the tech that I'm into, which is like building PCs and watching guys build PCs and just learning about all the new tech that comes out and watching guys build a new PC because the new tech is out. And same thing over and over again. But I don't know, I love it. And then in somewhat like musician culture, Brian and I are on our worship team at church, but I've played in a few bands, over the years, just as a sit-in drummer mostly, but like
Mumford and Sons.
No, but I can't remember the name of them, but I am on a album of a local band in Pittsburgh, and I can't remember the name of them.
That's how big you are.
Actually, that's kind of an interesting thing.
There's another culture.
Foodie culture. Yeah, they recorded it. They had a rehearsal. This is the first time I'd seen this because I was pretty young. I wasn't part of this culture as a musician, but there's a place, I believe it's down on 28. It's a storage unit facility, but the storage unit facility used it as rehearsal place for bands, and they had like all the inside was all carpeted, so like you could play next to another band and it wouldn't be that bad and whatnot. I just thought it was in it because you could go there and play as loud as you wanted and do whatever you wanted, and it was pretty neat.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hockey.
When I go both.
Yeah, whatever hockey I play. But when I go sit in a locker room, I'm like, this is a different world.
yeah,
Even as 40-something-year-old guys, that locker room is a unique place, and not a lot of people I think could fit into that environment.
Sure.
yeah.
So some of the ones people have chimed in on, Janet Amato, pickleball.
Pickleball.
So, but I love doesn't describe it, just pickleball.
Yeah.
I dipped my toes in it the day I played pickleball,
Yeah.
and I was known as a tryhard.
Oh.
I was using my athleticism rather than positioning. But Lindsay from church, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I've seen my stepmother-in-law get very deep down the rabbit hole of pickleball since they've been down in Florida, and definitely is a thing.
Yeah. Lindsay points out disc golf. She had no idea it was a thing. And she said, cornhole as well. Good old Mary Lynn. She said, here are a few that have come to mind. Thanks, Emil. Some I've observed, some I've experienced, either personally or as a mom/wife. Mahjong. Can you imagine a mahjong culture?
Yeah, I mean that's there.
It's a thing, man.
Chess.
Bridge clubs, all that stuff.
Chess culture is definitely
Bocce. Tommy's played in the Oakmont Bocce League before. There are do's and don'ts and hierarchy and all that kind of stuff.
that takes the fun out of it.
Card collectors, certainly. Oh, Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, PTA parents.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Sure.
Sure.
Yep.
I'll put that up with local
But even-
politics.
Yeah, right. Local politics as well. Like people that go to local politics,
Yeah.
like residents. And you should be involved or at least aware.
Right.
For sure.
Whatever else. Military spouses. You're saying that's a culture? I'm just kidding. Video gamers, Greek life in general. Oh, Greek life. Gosh. so I went to IU. I've never mentioned that before. And I was known as a GDI,
What's that?
a independent,
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't in a frat.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And
Not talking political parties necessarily. You're talking about frats.
correct.
Gotcha.
So, and like we would, like one of my favorite things would be to go to this one Kilroy's, which is a bar right on Kirkwood, right by the campus. There was a big Greek bar. And I would go with a buddy who was trying to hit on a girl that was in a sorority, and he was in a frat, but I wasn't. And the game I would play is how long could I go without somebody knowing I'm not in a frat or a sorority? And especially if I was like hitting on a girl, which I had a girlfriend at the time. I knew this wasn't going anywhere. And I would just try to string her along, and they would always mother F me when they found out I was an independent, because they would never date an independent
Wow,
because you had to be in a frat.
that's a culture.
That is a culture. Anyhow. Paul Dick, that's P. Dickey for those of you.
Oh, yeah.
Great guy. In the middle of nowhere, West Virginia. Listen to his hardcore music. Of course, it is a ton of aggression, which is that everyone sees on the outside. By the way, Boothby as well. Big fan of this.
Oh yeah.
But that music scene is actually full of discussion of big ideas, politics, religion, ethics, and processing pain. The people you meet are friendly, tattooed, and often well-read. They might windmill kick you in the head. I think he means in a mosh pit,
Yep.
not just on
Yeah.
a given Tuesday. And if you're lucky, one of them will tell you about Jesus, while others maybe will share about veganism or socialism. I don't think he did this on purpose, but I love the contrast. Jesus or veganism?
Yeah.
After you get picked up from the ground. A really cool subculture was that it was often about more than the music.
If I find this very true. Like I remember there's a metal band called Sepultura, and they sung about tribes in tribes somewhere. Like that's what they sang about, and I'm like, you would never know that's what they're singing about, but they're very well versed and all that. And then I always think of the Wayne's World scene where they go backstage to meet Alice Cooper, and Alice Cooper knows all about like the Native American history of Milwaukee when he says Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's kind of what it's like in the back, back there.
When I took Abby to that concert back in early March, it was 3 different bands.
Oh, yes.
3 Days Grace being.
I almost said 3 Doors Down.
Yeah.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah. But 3 Days Grace being the headliner, but the two opening bands, the one was very much, they're called I Prevail, and it was I sent you guys both.
Dude, when you sent me that video, I was like, oh, he's in it.
But I was very interested before we went. I was like, who is going to be at a show like this? Like who goes to this kind of a show?
Good people
besides
watching.
me?
Good people watching.
Right near us was an older couple that was very conservative looking. The lady was sitting there on a Kindle reading the entire time, but also watching the show and into it. Like you could tell. And then you had somebody over here fully tattooed. You had a big beer belly guy. Like it was all over the board. And so I kind of agree with what Paul said about people, are very nice there. And it was great. There were no fights or anything.
I heard it once that they said heavy metal, or whatever you want to call that, are nice people cosplaying as hard asses or as evil people, and that hippies are evil people cosplaying as nice people.
I was in the hippie culture when I followed Fish, and there's truth to that for sure.
Yeah, I think it's
People
more
are
as
people.
grown. I think, yeah, either way.
Yeah.
I also just, when you were talking about the concert, it reminded me of when I went to the Paul Spadafora fight at the Civic Arena.
I did Paul Spadafora boxing events at the Palace Inn.
Okay, it was when he was, I think, champion.
Okay.
And I remember just thinking, like, Pittsburgh has never been safer than it is right now, because every
all the
criminal,
scumbags.
every scumbag was in the Civic Arena. And I remember I went to the bathroom, and there was this redheaded guy with a sweater about 8 urinals over from me, and we made eye contact, like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Because he looked normal.
Yeah.
And I looked normal. And we were just like, okay, man, good luck getting out of here.
Yep.
Bar culture.
That's funny. Yeah.
regulars in a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, so many cultures. Diane Milowicki, good friend of ours. Love this one. When I first moved to the Bay Area in California 30 years ago, I didn't know anyone. I worked in a small office, and the office manager and her husband were heavily engaged in the sport of archery. They encouraged me to join them, which I did for a couple of years. Wow. Had no idea that this network of people existed. They were archery clubs and tournaments and gatherings to make, buy, and trade equipment. She was fascinated. Quite a few of them were hunters, not at all, but not all of them, and that they were not her people, but they were interesting and an enjoyable diversion for a while until she found her people in the theater community.
You would, and if you met Diane, you would never guess that she was part of an archery club.
Do not see her drawing a bow.
No.
I can see her drawing a bow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Theater. Well,
Love
so
Diane.
the
She's great.
Gracies are big into the archery.
Oh, okay.
Friends of ours, loose friends of ours. I say that loose meaning like we don't hang, but we're friends. And then they were trying to get Bella into it. And so we went out like by like past New Ken, the Kiski kind of area, I think it was. No, Armstrong County. And talk about a subculture, man. All these kids and everybody doing the archery thing. And
Yeah.
so
I was gonna say if Chris was here, he would talk about the Renaissance culture.
The Ren.
oh,
Yeah.
That is a culture.
I was going to say the crafts culture. Like
crafting, sure.
crafting. Like I just had a glimpse of around Christmas time. Abby had she was still doing the band thing, and they had an event up at the Penn Hills Arts and Crafts thing. And just to walk down Linton and see all these different people with all their different wares and crafts and stuff
Well,
like
we
that.
hosted one at the church with
Yeah.
Merle,
And
man,
and they travel and
there's rules and things like that.
Bingo culture.
Bingo culture.
That is definitely a culture.
But I mean, a
And
lot
you
of
do not want to mess
no
with bingo
Oh,
culture.
remember with they had a fundraiser for the musical last year, and like you said, you'd never even played, and like your dad was calling out bingo when he didn't have it, or you did, or something, and I was like,
I wasn't good at
killed
bingo
at a fundraiser.
But yeah,
bingo.
When we worked at
People are
Seneca,
serious.
when Amy and I worked at Seneca, they would play bingo, and it was so Doris. I love Doris. She was this lady. She used to be like a doo-wop singer, and what's that?
Not ska.
No. And she was on oxygen, and I'd see her hunched over, and she'd be doing the bingo, and like I didn't do it because I have a high need of acceptance, and I wouldn't want to cause this, but somebody would yell out we would be cleaning up the dining room, and like one of the waiters would be like bingo, and like you'd see this like collective like from all these old people, and then there'd be Doris like just laughing. She was the best.
R.I.P. Doris.
Yeah.
So in a conversation I posted this on Facebook last night thinking, I'm not really clear even where I'm going with this. I don't know if anybody's going to answer, and thank you to those who did. But then Kathy, who lives in Bucks County, Maryland, and my sister, she texted me this morning and she was like, oh my gosh, I've been thinking about this since August. And I was like, wow. Because she went to a live animal auction.
It's the header of it's the header picture of the show.
Yeah. And to which, tell them what I said when I sent it to you.
Oh.
You're like, cockfighting?
Oh, I was like, Amish cockfighting? Because there's like this Amish guy standing there, and then there's like a picture, there's like a sign with a rooster on it in the background. Because I'm like zooming in, I'm like, where is this? And I was like, I have no idea what's going on. It's either like a cattle auction or.
Well, it's in Bucks County, and it happens every Friday night from 7 p.m. till 1 a.m.
Wow, that's dedication.
They have this long table that looks like it's a conveyor belt, but it's not. And there's just boxes. And the guy's like, all right, we have 4 roosters. Here we go. Blah, blah, blah. We got 2 ducks. We got 1 sheep. We got 1 whatever. And she said, and it's everyone is there, from the local farmer to the big farmer to the Amish guy. She says the only thing missing is cigarette smoke. Because it's non-smoking, and it feels like they should be.
Used to have smoking for
Sure, for sure they did. And she said, like, one time this poor calf got brought in. She goes, it was on its absolute last legs. And the woman bid on it, and this younger lady, and she's like, I finally got a cow. And you hear people murmuring, like, for a little while, like it's not going to make it. And and she's just like, how do you bid? How do you not bid? How do you do cattle culture as well? So that was her one. But then she called me, and she goes, hold on, I have to go. I'll be right back. She goes, well, there's another culture. She goes, I stopped at the thrift store.
Oh yeah.
She goes, and I was dropping stuff off and I was prepared and I knew that you have to ring the bell, but I rang the bell and nothing happened. And then I rang the bell again and nothing happened. And then I turned around and I saw a sign and it said, please fill your cart with your donations before ringing the bell to lessen the amount of times we have to open the door. She goes, and I began to panic because I'm like, oh no, if they open up the door beforehand, but like thrifting culture.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Amy's in the thrifting culture. For
And
sure.
then she said she also went to a donut shop recently, not a chain.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
she had a meeting with somebody and she had been there for like 3 hours. She said the conversation she heard, the regulars who were there, and so same thing with a coffee shop.
Yeah. Right. Well, I'm just thinking about the donut connection or what it was. Yeah. Donut connection used to be across from Mohan's.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just, yeah. When I would take Ethan there when he was younger and we'd go and have a donut, you had all the old Penn Hills guys, the old Italians that
Drinking
are still
coffee.
around. Drinking coffee. Yeah. Definitely a thing.
Church culture.
Yeah.
And talk about the subcultures within.
Oh, yeah.
So many.
So many cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will apply to you more.
Okay.
Parks.
Yeah.
She goes, is it a big kid park? Is it a little kid park? Is it a park where you keep your backpack near you?
Right.
Or do you just leave it on the bench? Do you have to keep it on you the entire time? Is it
Yeah. Yeah. That's a culture.
It is. So many. Thrift store, we did that. Yeah. So my original thought was this, that it's belonging.
Yeah.
But then I thought, no, it is a unique place where you can have all of your emotional needs met.
Right.
And when it becomes toxic, like in quilting or any of these, certainly churches come to mind. Apparently mahjong can be pretty cutthroat, whatever
I
else,
bet.
is when somebody is stealing their emotional needs by being in this place.
Oh yeah.
So imagine, if you will, Sally is a quilter and she was bullied in junior high school and in high school by all the popular kids. So she got into knitting, which became quilting. Now, Sally is 35 years old and she is the president of her quilting club. And then here comes Darcy, who is cutesy wootsy 28-year-old blonde girl. Well, Sally is going to bury Darcy at any chance she gets because now it's retribution for all those bad girls, even though she doesn't know it.
Right.
Or if you have a high need of security, so now you run the local PTA. Or you have a high need. So if you're stealing your emotional needs, that's when a subculture, what?
Just the way you said the local PTA.
Local PTA. But does that make sense? And do you agree with me that when you start stealing your emotional needs by being, because it's a safer place, in
Yeah.
the real world,
Right.
you ain't getting any respect.
Yeah.
Well, and I
But
know-
in the Arc Raiders, local, whatever.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, I know somebody that they're in multiple groups because they have a high need of belonging, so that they always have a group that they can go to feel that belonging.
To fit in.
Yeah.
I got to say, representing the 90s, we had Mallrats and Clerks,
Oh, yeah.
the movies. And you talk about subcultures. You got a mall culture. You've got,
mall culture.
convenience store culture. Like, they made entire movies about
I
that.
know.
And then you go outside the mall and you're just a doofus,
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, saw Mallrats in my brain and thought,
I was
that's
waiting
good.
outside of
That's
Monroeville
so
Mall
true.
with Kevin Galanti. We had been dropped off by my mother. We were being picked up by his mother, who came after work in a kinder caravan.
Okay.
So as a 13-year-old junior high school student
Being picked up in a kinder caravan.
outside
Good luck.
of a mall,
Good
it was
luck.
real good luck. I nearly died that night.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I think that's the thing that I've realized most is that's how they get ruined. So it's the same thing as anything else.
You're going to get ruined somewhere. Why not do it in a subculture?
That isn't inherently what I meant. But like what can be used for good can also be turned bad.
Yeah. And it makes a lot of sense, like, from an emotional needs perspective. Like, yeah, what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Because even if it is belonging, you become the person in the group that's way too much a part of the group. And then somebody's like, oh, I'm not going to make the meeting this week. Well, you're not committed. You're not committed. Like if it's, I don't know. I'm going to think more about that.
Yeah. That was good. And that does it for
Podcast culture.
That does it for episode 320. Join us next week for episode 321. Between now and then, please give us a like or follow on social media and visit us at lunchtimeinrome.com. While there, take our relational needs questionnaire. Thanks for joining us at the table for Lunchtime in Rome. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.